Nougat Radio 92.7 FM.
Nougat Radio 92.7.
We are introless, apparently, and you're listening to all new Nougat Radio, NougatRadio.com here on 92.7 FM. We were waiting for the intro. There is none. We just went directly into the show.
Intro's optional.
So yeah, apparently. So I know that this is your greatest wish, and we have fulfilled it. More Nick LaFew here. He just came off of doing the Locker Room Show with Sam Jordan, and now he is here for the Clutch with Keon Rose. And then of course we're all on each other's shows.
Yeah, we might as well just call them whatever we want to.
Yeah, just make it one giant show that could happen any time of the day.
Yeah,
that'll make for surprising radio.
Yeah, just whoever wants to show up can do the show.
Can go ahead and do the show, and then we've got that going for us. So we've got a number of things to talk about because we've got some serious stuff. We've got some pretty fun stuff. I want to start with the Jameis Winston stuff because it's pretty depressing, and also how did we get to the point where this happened, and also have a lot of stuff to pick with the NFL on this. So to set it up, Jameis Winston last November was accused of grabbing the crotch of an Uber driver, and she claims that they were in a Taco Bell drive-thru, and he just reached over and did it. Right. What are you thinking when that even happens, if you're her or if you're him? Now, apparently, he was allegedly intoxicated. Jameis Winston disputes the story entirely.
Of course he does.
He said that she was mistaken about the number of people in the vehicle and his location in the vehicle.
And he was the one intoxicated.
He wasn't, exactly. He wasn't the one in the passenger seat. And also, there were 3 other people with him. And so one of the guys that was allegedly there said that, yes, there were 3 of them that went to the club, but 2 of them escorted him to the vehicle and left him there, which matches up with her story.
Have you heard the part of the story where his entourage comes out, the Uber driver, and goes to the Uber driver and is like, you're going to be driving somebody famous home tonight. And she was like, okay.
Well, not everybody watches football. Look, football is the sport where you don't necessarily get the notoriety unless you are a specific set of players, mostly the top quarterbacks in the league. Jameis Winston, not one of the top quarterbacks in the league.
Definitely not. Jameis Winston, to completely not derail the actual situation that's going on, but when is it time to start saying he's a bust?
Well, I don't think they're going to give up on him very soon.
You can't.
But Jameis Winston is going to have, they're going to be able to opt into his contract at the end of this next season, which would kick in automatically if he's injured. But if he's healthy, they could just part ways with him then and not even really have to sweat it too much. Maybe you think about it then if you reach the end of this season and go, well, this didn't work out. Maybe we just draft a new quarterback, at which point I think you would have to say pretty emphatically he is a bust because he would have no job, and the guy that was taken second, Marcus Mariota, would have a job in Tennessee, and Mariota's shown some signs of life. Winston, not so much.
Yeah, and I think with Mariota, you're getting a guy who now with Matt LaFleur coaching him, he's probably going to get a lot better.
And Mariota's been in the postseason too.
Yeah, and Terry Robisky was, let's be real, Terry Robisky was not the best offensive coordinator for him. And I mean, we can get back to that. I just think it's crazy that Jameis has fallen like he has, and then things like this continue to happen to that guy. And it's obviously him putting himself in bad situations. Right. I tell,
because he had the sexual assault that was not dismissed, but settled in college between the university and the accuser, and of course he had the incident, the crab legs incident, and an incident where he was yelling expletives, sexually explicit expletives, while he was standing on the table at Florida State.
Even in the car with the Uber driver, he had the window down, yelling out gay and racial slurs to people.
So, I mean, it's a number of things that Jameis Winston continues to find himself there. And if you continue to find yourself there, that's a pattern of behavior. Dude, that's you. You're allowed to make mistakes in life, and in Jameis's age range, none of us were smart in that age range.
No.
You're allowed to make some mistakes. But if these are all the mistakes that you make, dude, that's you.
And you can't look, I in my time in college and right after I was not in the spotlight. You can't do this if you're in the spotlight. You are a franchise quarterback, whether you should be or not. You are a number one draft pick. You can't continue. You at some point you have to think, when do I just need to surround myself with some different people?
Right. Maybe join a book club. Just stay indoors.
Lock yourself in your dadgum apartment or wherever you live in Tampa.
We all know people who aren't their best selves when they drink. And to those people, maybe drinking's just not for you. Like, maybe you just have to stop.
Put down the bottle.
Like, some people can, and if you can manage to live a functional life and drink, more power to you. But some people, and if you, especially Jameis, because you have so much to lose, if you can't keep your hands off of women when you're drunk, allegedly, then stop and stop drinking. Like, you really can't do it. It's becoming a pattern with him. You can't do it. So obviously, I think the NFL investigation is probably going to trend in the way of actually suspending him. Well, because he does have the history.
Can we talk about the NFL for a second and how they've royally botched this too? Because they're not even concerned with the fact that he was alleged to do this. They're suspending him for 3 games because he didn't report it.
It's the PR of the whole thing. It's pretty disgusting. And how you know they don't care is that the suspension is 3 games. You get a bigger suspension for breaking the drug policy. And I'm not talking about performance-enhancing drugs, because, okay, fine. We're talking about is cheating. Yeah, you smoke weed. Which any scientist will tell you will make you play worse, though obviously the players need this to medicate the pain.
Yeah.
There's a stronger punishment on smoking marijuana than it is on sexual battery against a woman. How is that possible?
And we've gone through these Ray Rice things. We've gone through now with linebacker from San Francisco, Alabama linebacker. Can't think of his name, but it just got in trouble with the same thing.
Also, Greg Hardy.
Everybody.
Yeah. And
here's the problem. We wonder why the culture is the way it is in the NFL. This is why. We care more about the product on the field than we care about these guys off the field. And at some point, you have to almost, and I'm not ever going to cover up for people's actions, but at some point, you got to start blaming the league, too.
I agree. I mean, and because the league is, the enforcement policy is going to tell you what is and isn't enforced. If
I do this at my job, I guarantee you I don't have a job. If I'm groping somebody in a car, an Uber driver, and then I get arrested for it or cited for it, I guarantee you I don't have a job.
Yeah, most of us don't. And I understand there's a certain level of putting the cart before the horse that's going to happen in just sports in general, because there are people whose jobs are connected to Jameis Winston. Like Dirk Cutter, his job is connected to Jameis Winston. And the GM of that team, his job is connected to Jameis Winston. But the league, the commissioner, the league office, these are the people who have to have the power to completely decide what is and isn't important to the league. And what they've decided essentially is that sexual abuse and allegations of it, not that important.
Well, and they're very contradictory of themselves, and honestly, they're hypocrites because they speak so much about how off-field behavior is so important in their players, and they have to exude class and all this kind of stuff, and you're going to suspend them for 3 games. This right here should not only be a suspension, it should, for 1, be a suspension, it should, for 2, be longer. 3, this isn't his first incident, so it definitely should be.
Yeah, like his history is here.
And then you got to start looking at some point, putting these guys in some sort of like rehabilitation facility of where they're having to go see a psychiatrist and go see therapists, because this is a mental problem at a certain point. And then honestly, even put them in some alcohol situations too, because it's an alcohol-induced problem.
And there have been a number of players in the league who have struggled with this, not just Jameis, but obviously we know Johnny Manziel had those issues. And a guy like Josh Gordon, who, I mean, they're keeping him out of the league, basically.
Stay off the weed, and Josh Gordon.
But he can't. He's addicted to it. Like, he really can't. Some people cannot stop. And it's it's sad, but the league doesn't really care. It's just let's just get you out of here, and it's funny because I was watching the other day the Chris Carter A Football Life, and he was an Eagle, and he basically got popped for cocaine, and that gets out of your system in like 2 days. So if they catch you for cocaine, like you're
a problem.
And Buddy Ryan was the head coach of the Eagles at the time, and he cut him. And he got picked up by the Vikings, and Chris Carter's wife said something that was really interesting, which was that the Vikings were one of the teams on the forefront at the time of rehab, of having therapists in the locker room who would help you rehab from situations that you had like that.
Green thing too.
And here's the thing: somehow, from when Chris Carter was playing football to now, we haven't advanced this enough. It's gotten worse. We haven't helped. It's crazy. And I understand like the rookie symposium is supposed to sort of help with that stuff. And it does a little bit. But again, Chris Carter talks to the rookie symposium all the time. And he stood there and he talked to guys like Pac-Man Jones. Looked right at him. He did talk to guys like Josh Gordon. He was right up there talking, and so that alone can't help. Like the league has to actually take this seriously, and I'm afraid they don't.
They don't care, and you wonder why. You wonder why these guys. I'm going to use Johnny Manziel as an example. That man could have died, and the NFL clearly. They just didn't care about him enough. Even his own coaching staff, his GM, his owner, they don't care. They just let him do whatever they want. And at some point, and I know they make more money than their coaches. They make more money, but at some point they have to be held accountable. The coaches, the league, they have to be held accountable too. I mean, we're going down a road where these athletes. They're set up to fail.
Right, and the guys that show up immediately and get it, there's some of them, they're lucky. But for the guys that don't get it, I mean, they're screwed. It's bizarre. Like the importance isn't on it. And I understand the league is a meritocracy if you can play, but the number of players that were even great and managed to be great despite the problems that they have. Like imagine Michael Irvin, if Michael Irvin actually got help sooner.
Yeah.
It's insane.
Imagine what Johnny Manziel could do.
Yeah, he's in the Canadian Football League now, and his Canadian Football League coach is saying he's too good for here. It's like we don't know how good he could be in the NFL, but he's clearly too good for the Canadian Football League. But he that's where he has to go because he needed to fall to rock bottom. And Johnny Manziel is one of the luckier guys in life, that his parents are loaded, they're rich, that his mom's in real estate, his dad has oil money, and so that he's able to go to rehab. This is not a benefit that a lot of people have.
No, and a lot of these guys come up from upbringings that don't, bode well for them to be successful. And then, they find a way out. They get to college. They do all these great things to be able to get out of the bad situations, and then they get back into the NFL. And they surround themselves with bad people, and the NFL doesn't care. I thought the Cowboys did the best thing. People make fun of it all the time, but with Dez Bryant, they gave him an entourage. They put him with people that weren't going to get him in trouble. Now, obviously, it didn't help completely, but at least they tried.
And it helped a little bit.
And they tried.
Because if you can get guys, especially to the point in their lives where they're like 26, 27 years old, and it starts to dawn on you a responsibility, like
time to be an adult.
Yeah, that's you got to get them to that point when it starts to dawn on. It's like it does clearly start to dawn on Dez. Like his last couple of years in Dallas, nothing. You didn't hear anything out of Dez Bryant.
He's also 30 years old now. Or almost, and you're an adult at that point. We put these kids in situations where they're not gonna. They're 22 years old, and you're giving them millions and millions and millions of dollars.
And they haven't had a single person, probably their entire life, say, "Hey, slow down." And if they do, it's a person they could very easily ignore. It's it's not a whole lot of guys that end up in that situation. Because my parents were really strict, and I believe that I was raised well.
Yeah.
If you gave me that level of money at 22, 23 years old, I would act a fool. Like, I would be insane. And I'm not even like a wild person like that, but it does do something.
You can do a lot more with millions of dollars.
Yeah.
And, you know, I always...
At 22 years old, I was introduced to college loan debt. That's a different... yeah, that'll change you in a different way.
Yeah, instead, these guys don't pay a dime for college, which is fair for what they do and what they do for the university. But they don't come out with debt. And then the top echelon of these guys, they go out and they make millions of dollars to play a game. And, you know, but we don't care. We don't. And at some point, society's got to be to blame too, because we just continue to pay all this money for it, and we don't care about what they do. And off the field, and you know, people say, well, they were great on the field. That's what really matters. You know, that's what they're there for. No, they're people. They got to be. If we ever want this to be fixed, then at some point there's got to be role models in there that overshadow these negative things, to where the next group that comes in don't want to act that same way. And it's not ever going to happen.
Yeah, the league rules have to reflect that. I think in college sports as well, the rules have to reflect what's actually important. You're listening to all new Nuga Radio and NugaRadio.com here on 92.7 FM. I have another lesser bone to pick with the NFL. And
shocking.
Yeah, well, it involves a great man and the fact that he would like everyone in the world to know that he is a doctor. And that is Laurent Duvernay-Tardif. He is an offensive lineman for the Kansas City Chiefs. And he's also, we have to actually call him Dr. Duvernay-Tardif, because he has completed his doctorate and will be the first doctor to play in the NFL, the first MD to play in the NFL since 1955. And the league won't let him put MD on the back of his jersey. The No Fun League strikes again.
But we'll suspend Jameis for 3 games for groping a woman.
Oh, boy. Because here's the thing. Since we're talking about role models, what is more in promotion of a role model than a man who has earned the right to put MD at the back of his jersey? I mean, they let you put junior on the back of your jersey and third and fourth on the back of your jersey. You didn't even earn that. Your parents just named you. You have a say in that matter. This man worked and became a doctor.
Well, and when you become a medical doctor or a PhD, that's part of your name at that point. You've earned that right. You worked your ass off.
Yeah. You know who has a doctorate, by the way? Shaquille O'Neal. You have to call him Dr. Shaq. It's possible. We actually have to. If he demands it, you actually have to, because he's a doctor.
He's a doctor. I just don't understand the NFL. I feel like their priorities are in the completely wrong places. And, I mean, you wonder how long. I mean, it's clearly reached its peak, the NFL.
Yeah, I remember a few years back, Brandon Marshall he was wearing green socks for Mental Health Awareness Month, because Brandon Marshall has been diagnosed bipolar, and so mental health awareness is something that's very big to him. But they find him. And if they have a deal with the Sandra Komen Foundation, that's why all the pink during breast cancer awareness month is a big thing. But Brandon Marshall can't wear socks of a different color for his own cause. No, it's only the cause that the NFL sanctions. And then, of course,
and that the NFL gets paid for.
Right. And the same thing with all of the military stuff. Everyone who is deceived by the NFL, because the NFL goes out there and they act all patriotic. They charge the military to be out there. They charge the military for the servicemen to be out there. They charge the military for the jets to fly over. They charge the military for the servicemen to hold that giant flag. And you think the league is so patriotic because, well, Colin Kaepernick can't get back in the league. Give me a break.
Colin Kaepernick can't get back in the league. It has nothing to do with the owners feel. It has to do with the fact that their fans don't like it.
But they perceive their fans not to like it.
Yeah.
I honestly think that people will watch football whether or not. Like, if Kaepernick
couldn't care less if he takes a knee or not.
If Colin Kaepernick is on your team and he's taking a knee, I think people will watch football anyway. And if people don't watch football anyway, then I have to ask Buccaneers fans what you're doing when you have a guy who has been wrapped up in a couple of sexual assault cases at this point, allegedly, and a guy who has stolen crap. Like, I mean, it's crazy.
So
Colin Kaepernick takes a knee, can't watch football. Jameis Winston gropes a woman? Where is it? Where's the outrage?
Nobody cares.
Where is it?
And we wonder why people are, and everybody gets so upset about it, but we wonder why, and that's why.
Traffic, news, and information. Nuga Radio. Digital FM 95.3 HD4 and 92.7 FM.
3, 2, 1.
Chattanooga Radio. Digital FM 95.3 HD4. 92.7 FM's news now.
2 people were shot in 2 separate incidents on Friday night. In the first shooting, a young girl was hit by gunfire on North Willow Street. Police say she was rushed to the hospital suffering from non-life-threatening injuries. In the second incident, 31-year-old Corey Britt was reportedly riding as a passenger in a car when he was hit by a bullet. He is expected to survive. The TWRA says 8 people were rescued from a sinking boat. Reports say they were stuck in storms on the water over the weekend. A nearby towboat was able to assist the TWRA with the rescue. All 8 occupants of the boat were rescued and are unharmed. 2 people were hospitalized after 3 cars crashed on Highway 58 on Sunday. CPD's public info officer tells WRCB that 1 person is in serious condition and another is in critical. The Sean Hannity Show, weekdays from 3 to 6. Val St. John for Nuga Radio, News Talk 92.7, Action News Now.
Chattanooga Morning News with Russ and Val. Weekdays from 6 to 9 a.m. on Nuga Radio, 92.7 FM.
Chattanooga weather.
It's that warm and muggy weather out there through your nighttime hours. Becoming fair. Overnight lows only 70 to 72. Now for your Tuesday, a hot, humid day with partly cloudy skies. Only isolated afternoon showers and storms. Highs 90 to 92. Scattered afternoon showers and storms more likely Wednesday. Tired of the pressures of car shopping? Come see what more people are making the short drive to Jackson Chevrolet Buick GMC in Lafayette or online at jacksongm.com. That's Jackson Chevy Buick GMC in Lafayette. And I'm Soren Gene 12 Chief Meteorologist Max Report.
Nuga Radio 92.7.
I got my business up and running and it's already expanding. I got lucky. Lucky because I found Signal Voice and Data. Signal Voice and Data can incorporate all of my business information sharing and communications seamlessly, keep my costs down, and let me work more productively with endless connectivity no matter where I might be. That's called working smart, not hard. Go to signalvoicetn.com and bring the future of communication to your business today. signalvoicetn.com.
Hey, dude, check this out. Have you ever seen one so big?
Whoa, look at the size of that.
Look at this little itty bitty one.
Wow, that's really small.
They have them big, small, and everything in between. You'll always find the biggest variety of knives at the knife shop at Frost Cutlery in Ottawa. We're talking about over 40 brands of knives, including Benchmade, WR Case & Sons, Booker, and all the Frost Cutlery brands. Now, Sam, you've been to the cutlery shop. Is it amazing?
Spectacular. The knife shop at Frost Cutlery in Ottawa. They have knives, swords, kitchen knives, ammo, and reloading supplies, plus survival gear.
It's the knife shop at Frost Cutlery, open 7 days a week. Hey, girls, you're going to love this. We're going to the knife shop.
Hey, let's not tell them they have ammo and loading supplies.
The knife shop at Frost Cutlery, open 7 days a week. You'll always find the biggest variety of knives. You're going to love the knife shop at Frost Cutlery in Ottawa. The knife shop.
And tell them David Toulis sent you.
Do you hear that? That, my friend, is not what you're thinking. That is the new 2018 Indian Chieftain Dark Horse. Yeah, Indian. Indian motorcycle is more than a bike. It's an experience, an American icon. And Indian Motorcycle of Chattanooga is the only place you'll find their new 2018 line. Are you ready to ride? Join the club. Go to Indian Motorcycle of Chattanooga. Just look for the sign, 153 and Amicola. Indian Motorcycle, the true American original.
Hey, Karen, you need me for that 1 o'clock?
Yes, Cheese, please. Karen, did you get the quarterlies done? Yep, they're filed in the Cabernet cabinet.
Karen, can you describe the initiatives to the new hire? Thanks.
Oh, sure. Full-bodied, some floral notes, maybe a hint of dark chocolate.
Am I in the right department?
Got wine on the mind? Come unwind at Virgola. Italian wine, oysters, caviar, cheeses, and more. Perfect after work or a romantic date night. Virgola Italian Wine Bar, 608 Georgia Avenue.
Chattanooga Paint and Decorating would like to remind you it's so hot out there. And guess what? Your deck is taking a beating. It's probably starting to show wear. If you're hosting friends for the 4th, get your deck entertainment ready with a fresh coat of stain and protect it from heat, sun, and rain with a quality sealant. If you want to get to work, Chattanooga Paint and Decorating want to help you. For exterior paint, stains, sealants, and supplies, stop by Chattanooga Paint and Decorating today on Hicks and Pike across from Valvoline or online at ChattanoogaPaint.com.
Nuga Radio. Are you brain dead? Still voting for pathetic liberals? Take 3 hours of Sean Hannity from 3 to 6.
Nuga Radio.
Then call us in the morning between 9 and 11.
92.7
Nuga Radio.
The priorities are really wrong there. But let's move on. Move on to the NBA. The eye was abrupt. The music was abrupt. It was the timing there. So I want to move on to the NBA because LeBron James is going to have to go through like the first step in deciding where he wants to go next this Friday. He has to choose whether or not to opt in or opt out in his contract in Cleveland. Now, I don't think him opting out means he's not coming to Cleveland.
Agreed.
But it does mean that Dan Gilbert's going to have to pay a lot more for him to be in Cleveland. That's what it does mean. And I don't know if Dan Gilbert's going to actually do it because he's a bad owner. And I also think he's a bad person. That's just my opinion.
Yeah, well, I don't think
you're going to catch me for slander.
I don't completely disagree with you. I think that whole town is run by a bunch of morons in sports, especially. And I mean, we know my opinions of the Browns front office. But
the Indians are fine, though.
The Indians are fine. One team's not screwing it up, so that's a plus. But yeah, if I'm LeBron, I stay personally because I still think Cleveland gives him the best chance. And I know that's probably not the most popular of opinions, but I thought they did a great job drafting Colin Sexton. Thought that was a great pick.
Mm-hmm.
And if he could find a way to pull one of these guys to come to Cleveland with him, I think that's the only way he stays, though. I think he's got to get one of these guys to come with him, whether it be Paul George, whether it be Chris Paul somehow, whether it be Kawhi.
I think your best chance is Paul George, in my opinion, because he's an actual free agent who controls his own destiny.
Yeah.
And everyone seems to forget that. Everyone's hung up on LeBron, who you can't control, and everyone's hung up on Kawhi, who can't control where he goes at all.
Yeah.
But Paul George is the guy who actually can control where he goes and who you could actually probably convince to come somewhere.
Why would he not go play with LeBron?
I don't know. And he's already spent time in Oklahoma City. It's like he's already been in a tiny market for a year. And he's been in Indianapolis. He's been in Oklahoma City. Cleveland, it ain't that much worse. Okay, I mean, I understand the bright lights in LA might be calling you, but if you want a legitimate chance at winning a ring, sign a 1-2 year deal with Cleveland, and you're gonna get it. You play in Cleveland, which the balance between Cleveland and Oklahoma City as a fun place to be.
I mean, it's not LA,
but neither of those places are. So you might as well go to Cleveland, try and win a ring, play alongside LeBron. LeBron, unlike Westbrook, will put you in positions where you are able to score, where you're able to get into a rhythm, where you're able to find your place in a game. I just think you got the better teammate. A city isn't worse than the city you're in, and you could probably make more money, to be honest.
Yeah.
Yeah, and it's less people to share the ball with because Colin Sexton's not going to ask for a lot. He's a rookie.
Look, and if you throw this into, if LeBron goes anywhere in the West, the chances of his finals streak goes way down.
It does. And there's no team in the West that he could go outside of Houston. And from what I hear, he hates Houston. So there's no team that he could go to in the West that gives him a chance to go to the finals.
I mean, the only possible way I see that they go to the finals in the West is if he goes to LA and they bring in Kawhi, which isn't going to happen.
No, LA would have to run the gambit, get LeBron, Paul George, and Kawhi if they're going to make it to the finals.
They would, and if anybody could do it, it would be LA. But Kawhi's not going to LA.
He's not going to LA. Greg Popovich has said this
unless they
many
trade
times.
him and then he demands a release.
Which, we'll see. Something's got to happen there, but you can't be. You can't be the Lakers and putting all of your eggs in the let's see if we can get all three of these guys basket. That's a very unwise place to be.
Yeah, LA definitely has some pieces they can use to trade. Kyle Kuzma, Lonzo Ball. If anybody could fix Lonzo Ball's shot, it's Greg Popovich and his staff. Although LeVar might go insane if they went.
LeVar might actually go insane, which I would love to see. And I'm not going to lie, there is some part of me that secretly wants that trade to go through because the idea of cramming LeVar Ball into a smaller market, so we just never hear from him again.
And I want to see him get into it with Pop.
Wouldn't that be thrilling? Because Pop's not going to back down.
No, Pop beats crap out of him, physically.
It feels like it. Every time I've seen Greg Popovich yell, though, I feel like he's about to harm someone physically.
Yeah.
It's. I remember one time he got so pissed off that he didn't drop a play. He just handed the clipboard to Manu and walked off the court. Out of rage. Like Steve Kerr did it earlier this year just to keep the guys engaged in the season. No, Pop did it because he was mad.
He was mad. Yeah, I think it's great.
But I'm not even gonna bother to draw something up for what you guys are doing right now.
I think it's awesome. I love Pop. But I'll say this too. He's not trading Kawhi to LA.
No,
it's not happening.
What he's trying to do is end this entire situation without trading Kawhi at all.
That's not going to happen.
And so he's trying to patch this whole thing up. And this is how the Spurs organization works. I've lived in San Antonio long enough to know this. If Kawhi really, really wants out, he wants out that bad, he'll have to call a meeting with R.C. Buford, the GM, and Greg Popovich, sit across from them physically and say, I want out of here. And they're not trading him.
Yeah.
It's not going to happen.
How I envision this going down is, I know they met him and Pop, Kawhi and Pop met last week sometime. If I'm Kawhi, I'm not as mad at Pop as I am at my teammates. Guys like Tony Parker.
Right, the guys that came out to the media publicly and said, hey, I came back for this injury. How come he's not back?
Shut up, Tony Parker. That's the way I feel about it. I've never liked that guy anyway. And, it was hard for me I love Tim Duncan and I love Greg Popovich, but it was so hard for me to cheer for those Spurs teams. One, because it's not the most entertaining form of basketball. Two, Tony Parker got on my ever-loving nerves. I could not stand him.
I like Tony Parker, but I'm also a guy that dribbles too much and can't shoot. So Tony Parker is like my power animal. Like, unless I get to the basket, I can't do anything on a basketball court, and everybody knows this. It's just what it is. And Tony Parker is exactly that guy.
I was never a fan, man. I don't know why. But
I'm actually on the side of the teammates here because Kawhi Leonard was injured. And I don't think that the guys were really upset with him for being injured and not coming back from injury. I think what the guys were really upset with him about was, so you're injured, but you don't come to any of the games? Like, we're trying to make a playoff run. We're in the postseason. I know we're the 8th seed. We probably don't have a chance to win, but you don't show up to any of these?
Yeah.
Kyrie was showing up to games, a guy who we stereotypically call selfish. That was Kawhi.
Yeah, and I don't know why we call Kyrie selfish either.
I don't know either. Because he didn't want to play with LeBron. Well, nobody wants to be little brother. I don't know if you remember.
Not when you have an opportunity to be a superstar. That was his team before LeBron came.
Yeah, it's like in The Wire with Marlo. Where he says I wasn't made to play the sun.
Yeah.
Like that's what that's like. Kyrie just wasn't made to play the sun. He doesn't want to be little brother. He wants to be the guy, and I don't think that makes you selfish. He's already won a ring. So in terms of what's left to prove, you have to do it by yourself. And Kyrie Irving is the guy that he's one of these younger players that worships at the altar of Kobe Bryant. And that means
Church Kobe.
You gotta do it yourself. You gotta do it yourself. So I don't think that makes you selfish. I think that means, okay, you're legacy driven at a very early age, and this is what he wanted to do. Kawhi, though, we assume Kawhi is not that way because Kawhi doesn't say anything.
Ugh.
And we do this, by the way, with quiet people constantly. Quiet people will be in a room and we just sort of project what we want to onto them. And we look at Kawhi and people have assumed that Kawhi is humble and kind. Yeah, he doesn't say anything.
Just because you don't say anything doesn't mean you're humble.
Right. I mean, you could be thinking the most arrogant things, and it's funny.
Clearly he does.
Yeah, I was actually listening to a report from Chris Broussard, and Broussard was saying that the people who are very close to Kawhi and actually do hear him speak, the 4 or 5 of them, they believe him to be a very, let's say, confident young man.
Cocky word.
Yeah. So if that's going to be the case, then what you're essentially looking at is a guy who's pretty full of himself.
I'm going to tell you this right now, and this is Kawhi would not play well with LeBron because they are polar opposites.
Yeah, Kawhi ISOs a lot, by the way.
And LeBron is that humble guy. Whether people like him or not, LeBron is humble. And LeBron respects the game. And, I think he learned a lot from the way that he presented himself when he went to Miami and all that crap. Still thought it was a really cool idea. Executed poorly, in my opinion. But I get.
And he raised a bunch of money for the Boys and Girls Club too. With while he was doing that, like we call it selfish, but all that money went to kids.
You don't see anybody else doing that, man. And yeah, it was kind of selfish because he was in the spotlight, but it was selfless in the fact that he was willing to all the money that was raised for it went to those kids.
Yeah,
man. I mean, that's why people. I think people. I think part of that's why people don't like LeBron too, is because he's not like Jordan that way. Jordan was cocky, man.
Cocky and
arrogant.
Have you seen Michael Jordan's Hall of Fame speech? It's like if you came into that speech with good fuzzy feelings, you left going, oh my gosh, this is just Michael Jordan trashing people.
What an arrogant ass.
Why would you do that? This is a celebration of you. And you use this moment to tear down literally anybody who's ever said anything bad about you ever. Why? Why would you acknowledge any of those people? I know
you're clearly the greatest to ever do it. So what's the point?
There wasn't a discussion at that point. Why? Well, I don't know. I really don't understand what Michael Jordan did because he's Michael Jordan, and we just let him do it, which is fine. But then when LeBron's not that, you'd think he'd be praised for not being that because Michael Jordan's the guy that punched his teammates. Like if LeBron did that in today's 24-hour news cycle, you'd literally never hear the end of it.
Yeah, and he probably wouldn't have a job.
It's he could have done it in the 80s. Anybody could have done it in the 80s.
Basketball is different.
In the 80s all the time.
Yeah.
But now people call you a bad leader. When LeBron shoot out J.R. Smith for his brain fart, the biggest brain fart in the history of sports, people said that his body language, he was being a bad teammate then. And I'm like, how else do you react to that?
I thought he was a great teammate because he shut his mouth and just walked back to the bench because he could have said a lot more.
I thought he was a great teammate because he scored 51 points in the game. But okay, maybe that's just me. All right, just whatever.
And then he goes to the bench and he's like, we had timeout.
We had a timeout, and then he just falls apart.
The look on his face, man, I can't. I'll never get that out of my head.
I'll never unsee that. You're right. I mean, it to me. And you can't even be mad at him. It's like he's not wrong about any of the things that's happening here.
He's not wrong. And then he doesn't trash his teammate either in the press conference.
Yeah.
He just leaves. Smart move. But people bash him because he left the press conference. Well, my mama always taught me, if I ain't got anything nice to say, then don't say anything at all. That's what LeBron did.
I mean, you can't win for trying, man.
And LeBron was like, how am I supposed to know what he was thinking?
So, of course, he's not going to tell the media where he wants to go as a free agent. Why would he? He's not telling any of us any of these things. You're listening to all new Nuga Radio, NugaRadio.com here on 92.7 FM. We have another LeBron story, but this one is more concerned with Bronny or LeBron Jr. He's called Bronny. That's his nickname.
It's a great nickname.
It's a nickname. It separates him enough from his dad that it works really well. And Bronny almost dunked in a game. And he's 13 years old.
Yeah. 13.
He's 5'8". 13 years old. He grabbed the rim, by the way. The ball just didn't go down.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
I don't know. Like, when I watched the clip, I was like, oh, my. Oh my God!
It's.
Can we talk about the way how his swag is just unbelievable? He's got the shooting sleeve. He looks the part, man.
I feel like that's some of the perks you get when LeBron James is your dad.
Yeah, he's already sponsored by Nike.
Yeah. Well, because LeBron has the lifetime contract with Nike. You think LeBron's not going to get his son hooked up? Like
at 13, that looks like an NBA All-Star.
If LeBron Jr. had been on that Cavs team, I think they actually win a game. Because so I remember when LeBron Jr. was like 10. That was the first highlight video I saw of him, and I was like, "Oh, this kid could actually beat me in a game of basketball, and it wouldn't be close. He would destroy me." And now that he's 13 and dunking, like I don't even know what the future of the NBA even holds at this point.
Yeah, I mean that's 8th grade. He's in high school.
He's an 8th grader.
And then now he very well could, by the time that he graduates high school, not have to go to college for a year.
Yeah, he could be in the league with his dad
in 5 years.
And that's what I want to see. I want to see LeBron at that point be like a free agent then. And whichever team drafts LeBron Jr.,
he goes in.
That's where LeBron goes. So we can get the Ken Griffey Sr., Ken Griffey Jr. thing in the NBA. Because that would make me so happy.
What if they both got triple doubles in the same game?
I just lose my mind at that point. I mean, come on. That would be way too cool. That's never happened.
I mean, you had Ken Griffey and Sr. and Jr. Homer in the same game. And that's really cool. But if these guys like pull out triple doubles or even double doubles,
yeah, just double doubles together. Because we have a lot of great NBA stories where fathers and sons have played in the league. But have they played together at the same time in the league?
I don't think so. I don't think they I don't know if they ever played together. I think Brent and what's Daddy's name?
I don't know his name.
I think they played together.
They played together?
Because Brent's the oldest. I don't know. But I thought one of them did. Maybe the brothers played together.
That's my favorite thing is like brothers in the league and then like fathers and sons who have played in the league and like trying to figure out who's like their dad. So
yeah,
who's Steph Curry and Del Curry.
Lonzo and LeVar, right?
Well, LeVar only made it as high as college and he averaged 2 whole points a game.
2 points a game.
Yeah. What did Charles Barkley say? That he exploded for 2 points a game. Now look at LeVar Ball erupting for 2 points a game.
I don't know how LeVar Ball thinks he can beat Chuck in a game 1-on-1. No.
Chuck can't jump now. LeVar's never been able to jump. What? When did he get that deluded idea? And I know he's not able to jump because Lonzo can't jump. I mean,
Lonzo can't even shoot.
Well, so yeah, there's that. Lonzo's got great court vision, and he's got a great feel for the game, and that is amazing. By the way, that he's going on that.
Is great.
It's through the roof.
But his shot looks like
it's broken. It's fundamentally broken. Every time he makes them, I don't know how.
Even if you play with him like on NBA, like the shot's just like
the animators of that game had to make an entirely new model for Lonzo.
I don't think you can take his shot either because this is like if you create your player. They're probably like, yep.
Why would you want that? Why would we?
Have you ever tried to shoot with him on NBA?
I have not.
It's impossible.
I'm sure it is.
To try to hit the release point the right way, it's impossible because he doesn't have a release point.
No, and the ball's across his face. How does he see the basket? I mean, it's every mechanical thing that a shooting coach would tell you not to do.
I shoot better,
and I know this because I once had a shooting coach. Not for very long, but everything that he said not to do, Lonzo does. It's unbelievable. Like, it's the shot that
his dad taught him.
Well, there you go. Which, by the way, speaking of fathers and sons, LeVar Ball has completely ruined anything for LiAngelo Ball and possibly his youngest son, LaMelo.
Which might be the best one.
Yeah, LaMelo legitimately actually can shoot, and LaMelo is an incredible scorer, though I have yet to see LaMelo play defense. But
he'll fit right into the NBA,
right alongside. But yeah, no, he's so good. But his dad took him to Europe to play in the pros. So LaMelo can't play in college. I mean, LiAngelo is just trying to get on a summer league team. He entered the NBA draft. LeVar, and I read a report that LeVar was shell shocked when LiAngelo didn't get drafted. And I was like, what?
No, he said he's still going to end up on the Lakers.
That is a level of delusion I've never seen it. You actually thought he was going to get drafted?
By who?
And someone on Reddit posted the LiAngelo Ball workout. It ain't good. He made one shot in the first 15 that he took.
Well, in his preseason hoopla he did at UCLA, it's not like he played well overseas either there.
No. Before he got grounded in China. Before he got arrested in China. And not allowed back into the United States.
That family needs its own TV show.
They have their own TV show. It's hilarious.
Do they really?
It is actually funny. Yeah, so it's a reality show. I forget where it's on. It might be, they actually might have it like on Facebook as a Facebook show. But yeah, it's it's too goofy for words. Like LeVar Ball hates tattoos, for instance, and LiAngelo got a tattoo without telling him. And so they went to this it's this nitrogen chamber thing that you step inside of. Floyd Mayweather uses it too, and it's supposed to help your muscles recover after a workout. And so LiAngelo had to take off his shirt to step in the little chamber, and LeVar saw the tattoo, and it looked like he was about to kill LiAngelo right there, and everybody hates Chris, like the dad just coming across to just strangle his son.
That's outstanding. That is outstanding.
Yeah, they should get that show on TV though. I mean,
I'd watch it.
As much as the ball family is just fundamentally annoying.
Traffic, news, and information. Nuga Radio. Digital FM 95.3 HD4 and 92.7 FM.